Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Verses and Paragraphs and everything in between. It started almost 2 minutes before 1 o'clock, so I can start wrapping up. People can join on time. Anyhow, today is the 24th of April 2018, and it is a very, very hot day. It is hot, burning hot. But anyhow, we thank God for the heat. There are some people somewhere, they are praying for heat. Some of us are praying that it should be cool. But we thank God that it is a nice sunny day. And of course, what that means is lots of sweating. Yesterday, the 23rd of April, was World Book and Copyright Day. And we celebrated it here on Verses and Paragraphs with a little bit of the history of the World Book and Copyright Day. Now, the World Book and Copyright Day, also known as International Day of the Book, is a yearly event on April 23rd, organized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, to promote reading, publishing and copyright. Shwaibu Atumeyi John, thank you for joining our live broadcast. Yesterday we were talking about the World Book Day. I'm just giving a recap of what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday was the World Book and Copyright Day. Every April 23rd is set aside to honor or promote reading, publishing and writing, and the day was set by UNESCO. Every time we call the names of these organizations, we don't know their full meaning, so the full meaning is really long. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Now, the idea for this celebration started on the 23rd of April in 1995 to honor some of the literature greats who had died on that particular day. Among them were Miguel de Cervantes, William Shakespeare, and Inca Garcilaso de la Vega. They all died on that same day. But very, very interesting is that William Shakespeare himself was born on the 23rd of April, and he also died on the 23rd of April. Now, each year, UNESCO and international organizations representing the three major sectors of the book industry, as in publishers, booksellers, and libraries, they select the World Book capital for a one-year period. In 2014, our own Port Harcourt was named the World Book Capital City, and it is the second African city and the first sub-Saharan city to be so honored. And my brother Fred Amata is watching. Thank you for joining our live broadcast. Good to have you on today. I was just giving a recap of yesterday, which was the World Book and Copyright Day, celebrated all over the world, and the date was chosen in 1995 by UNESCO to promote booksellers, libraries, and authors. And the 28th edition of the World Book and Copyright Day was titled Reading It's Right. Anyhow, today I want to be talking about contronyms. English is a very weird language. And contronyms are words which have two opposite meanings. They're like Janus, the two-faced god. Janus, the two-faced god, is a Roman god. Is it a Roman or Greek god? He has two faces. And January, the month of January, is named after the Janus god because it has two faces, one facing the front, one facing the beginning, one facing the ending. So we're going to talk about contronyms. We've spoken about them before, but I just want to revisit them. Now, a contronym is a word that means two things that are opposites of each other. It can mean one thing and also its total opposite based on the context in which it is used. English is weird. There are words that can mean two opposite things. Now, one of these words, Diego is watching all the way from Abuja. Diego, thank you for joining our live broadcast. Yesterday we talked about the World Book and Copyright Day. How did you celebrate in Abuja? Did you celebrate? Did splendid dawn or be splendid poetry? What's the name of that? How did you celebrate? And if you did celebrate, tell us how you did. Today we're talking about contronyms, which are words that are opposite. In fact, I gave a brief of yesterday because we did celebrate World Book and Copyright Day on verses and paragraphs. I'm just giving a recap. Anyhow, now we're talking about the business of today. Contronyms, words that are their opposites. Now, one of these words is custom. Now, custom, one meaning of custom is like convention or collective habits. And then it has its opposite, custom, which is like made specially for an individual. Like a customized car, you have a customized dress, you have a customized suit, and customized earrings, customized perfume. So you have one word, two meanings. Custom, as in this is the custom, this is our custom in our area. Okay, let's take for example, like Yoruba people, is custom to prostrate when they greet, and then the same custom also has an opposite, which is like made specially for an individual. Men like having customized clothes. Dresses specifically made for me. You know, like I said, Ebuka always has customized clothes that people are trying to copy. Anyhow, then there is the word bound. Bound means to leap or to jump. You know, he bounded. And then the same bound could also mean secured from moving and tied in bonds. When you tie something securely. So bound, the word bound has two meanings. Then trim, this is very interesting. Trim could be used as a verb and a noun to add, like decorating. So he trimmed the Christmas tree, as in adding decorations. And then you also have trim again, which is also used as a verb and a noun, and it means to take away, to make neat, like trimming your hair or trimming your beard or trimming the lawn, mowing the lawn. You trim the grass. So here you have trim that is used in the same way. Sorry, two opposites. Then you have dust. Bakers can understand this one. Dust, you say sprinkle with powder when you're baking. You say, okay, after you've made the chocolate cake, then you dust with icing sugar. You dust it. And then there's also dust, which means to wipe the dust. So I say, go and dust the television. It is very dirty because of the harmattan. Dust has come in. So dust, one word, two meanings. Then you also have left. Left, the person has left. Okay, he left for America yesterday. He has gone, he departed from the place. And then you could also have left, having been left behind. So left means you go or you are left behind. So there are two different meanings to the word left. I said it, outside is very hot. It's very hot in Lagos today. Although how does it feel in Abuja? Then you have bolt. Bolt means to spring away suddenly. Like I say, the horse bolted. Immediately its owner came down, the horse bolted. So you spring away suddenly. And then you also have bolt again, which means to fasten in place. Have you secured the bolt? Bolt the door. So it is either you fasten in place or you spring away suddenly. So bolt, one word, two meanings. And then strike. Strike, the act of hitting. Say, you strike the ball, you hit the ball. This can also be used for baseball players. And then there's also the strike, as in a miss when you are playing baseball. People who play baseball will understand that better. So you have strike, you are either hitting or you are missing. So it is one word, two opposites. Then buckle. If you are in the plane, it says buckle your seat belt. So when you buckle your seat belt, you hold together. And then buckle, so his legs buckled underneath him and he collapsed. So it is either holding together or collapsing. One word, two meanings. Then out. This one is very interesting too. Out could mean visible, as in the stars are out tonight. So you are seeing the stars. And then the same out could mean invisible. Blow out the candles. When the candles are blown out, they can no longer see them. So out, one word, two meanings. This one is interesting. Garnish. I never knew. I knew about garnish, that you can add decorative touches to food, but I didn't know about garnish as to take or withhold part of the income or property of someone who is owing a debt. So it's so interesting. When you first hear the word garnish, what you're thinking of is like food, when you garnish food. And then the same garnish also means to take or withhold part of the income or property of someone who owes a debt. So a contronym is any word that can be its own antonym, and I'm sure you know what an antonym is. An antonym is a noun, and it means a word that is opposite in meaning to the other. Now, yesterday I was talking about phrases and the way we have been using them wrongly, and while I was having my broadcast, Facebook decided to be Facebook. My Wi-Fi was working, but Facebook refused to work. So I'd just like to sort of like recap. There are some of these famous phrases. Elizabeth Joe, thank you so much for joining our live broadcast all the way from Canada. Thank you so much. She says I'm looking bright and beautiful. Yes, color yellow is bright. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast. Now we're talking about famous phrases. Anyway, before you joined, Elizabeth, I was talking about words that mean two opposites, and I read a host of those words. I can just briefly run through them for you and maybe some other people who might join in as we're talking. I have the word custom used in. I will not read all of them because there are other people who were there. Oh, thank you so much, Diego. Diego said he loves my looks. Thank you, Diego. All right. Now, custom. Custom as in custom, a convention or collection of habits, or custom made specifically for someone. I know, like I was saying, Ebuka, that young man who always presents Big Brother, yes, Ebuka, he always comes out with customized clothes. So you have customs as in like the Yoruba people is accustomed to prostrate when they greet, and then the opposite of that custom is like things made specifically for an individual. Then you have buckle. When you hold together something, you like buckle your seat belt, and then buckle. His legs buckle underneath him and he collapsed. Or collapsed, like when we want to make jokes. So there are words like that which I will be writing. I'll be putting up some of them on Facebook later on, words which are their opposites in meaning. For now, let's talk about some of these famous phrases we have all been using wrong. I didn't know that myself. Now, one of them is curiosity kills the cat. There's hardly any person I know who has not used this phrase, curiosity kills the cat, and it always refers to people who are being too inquisitive or nosy, and it always leads to their downfall. But do you know that curiosity killed the cat is only a piece of that saying? The other part is curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Diego, did you know that? I didn't know that. So the complete phrase is curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. And what they mean here is that asking, is curiosity bad? No, it's great. Why? Because through curiosity, the cat learns what is going on. Ultimately, the satisfaction of knowing something or acquiring new knowledge requires a curious mind, so stay curious. So when next you hear someone, or you're about to use the phrase yourself, curiosity killed the cat, tell them, hey, there's an I didn't know it to myself. So tell them, hey, there is a second half to that one. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. I'm also going to be putting up all these phrases and their other halves later on Facebook. Then there's another, you see, these are phrases that we use regularly. Great minds think alike. You know, when people want to say that, okay, important, we have a good idea, and all of us, okay, yes, oh, you agree with my idea, okay, yeah, that means that great minds think alike. But that is just half of the sentence. The full one is great minds think alike, small minds rarely differ, as in they rarely disagree, or some people say fools seldom differ. So that is the full phrase. Great minds think alike, small minds rarely differ. Small-minded people, they close the doors on opinion that differ from them. They want to disagree, so they don't want to go with any, so they only listen to people who think like them. But great minds, they venture beyond the box and become even greater by learning other perspectives. So Diego, next time you're talking about great minds think alike, or you hear someone say that, Elizabeth Joe, great minds think alike, but small minds rarely differ, they rarely disagree. They don't have time. Is that your own? Okay, let me stay in my own small box. So great minds think alike, and small minds really differ. Then this one, you see, these are phrases that almost all of us have used, and we never knew that they were. I don't know how, maybe through the ages. Blood is thicker than water. Diego, tell me, Elizabeth, have you never ever used it? Blood is thicker than water. Of course I've used it. Now this saying is incomplete because words throughout the saying are missing. It is a misadaptation of a biblical verse that never had family ties in mind. Now here is the correct phrase. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Got it? The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Not blood is thicker than water. I don't know how come, maybe people listen and then they dropped out some of these words, but this is the complete saying. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of this womb. Than the water of the womb, rather. So this saying isn't about family. The covenant is the promise exchange between God and his followers. So the blood of that promise of faith is more important than family. Faith above all. Then another one again. Hey, many people, in fact, there was somebody who I remember one young girl years ago, she made a song about it. Money is the root of all evil. Tell me you haven't used that phrase before. Money is the root of all evil. This is another slightly misinterpreted quote from the Bible. The partial form here leads one to believe that the very existence of money and all that it entails is evil. But that is wrong. 1 Timothy 6 verse 10. For the love of money, not money. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Diego says that you have made a modification. Blood is thicker than water. Here we agree. But let the correct word, Diego. So anyway, but this one, money is the root of all evil. So many people have made that mistake. So money is not the root of all evil. It is the love of money. Now, the fuller version makes more sense, and it is found in 1 Timothy 6, verse 6. Sorry, 1 Timothy 6, verse 10. 1 Timothy 6, verse 10. That is the correct. So then, another one, jack of all trades, master of none. Tell me you haven't used that thing before. This saying has lost its other half. In its partial form, it implies that being generally good at a bunch of different things is in the end less useful than knowing one thing really well. But the full version of that statement is jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than master of none. Okay, it's jack of all trades, but oftentimes better than master of none. This saying was never meant to bring people down for not being masters of the universe. The quest for perfection is fruitless. Just learn to imperfectly accomplish a bunch of really good things like writing, knitting, singing, dancing, throwing the javelin, driving your car, cooking, baking. Just be as good as you think you can. So it is no longer jack of all trades, master of none, but jack of all trades, oftentimes better than master of none. So that is what has been missing. Oftentimes better than master of none. So please do not use it to abuse somebody. Yoruba people say gbogbo nishe. Abi? Then Yoruba person watching gbogbo nishe. Then this is one again, my country, right or wrong. I have never heard this one before, but I just saw it among. So let me read it. Maybe some of you have heard it. My country, right or wrong. And this phrase hints at blind love and loyalty to one's country, no matter what that country is doing. But the original person who said it in 1872. And what he said is, my country, right or wrong. If right, to be kept right. And if wrong, to be set right. Now, how about that? My country, right or wrong. If right, to be kept right, and if wrong, to be set right. I'm sure some people can learn something from that. So we shouldn't blindly follow what our country says, but if they are right, okay, keep it right. And if you're wrong, we gotta set you right. And this statement was uttered by Carl Schurz. He was a Union general in the Civil War. He became the first German American elected as a U.S. Senator in 1869. So if there are policies or practices citizens disagree with, it's in the country's best interest for those citizens to voice their opinions and work together to set things right. How do you think? How do you see it? Certain policies or practices that you disagree with, the country should be able to be humble. The country should be humble enough to listen to those citizens and then work together to set things right in that country. Anyhow, yesterday I wasn't able to read our quotable quote, and this was in honor of the World Book and Copyright Day. And it says, a home without books is a body without a soul. A home without books is a body without a soul. I know there's most of my majority of my friends have countless of books which they read, countless books. And this statement was made by Marcus Tullius Cicero. He was a Roman politician and lawyer who served as a consul in the year 63 BC, which is 63 before Christ. BC is before Christ. So imagine years, centuries, aeons ago, people already knew the importance of books. Ngozi John Uya, thank you so much for joining our live broadcast, which is not coming to an end, but at least you joined it just in time. Now, Marcus Tullius Cicero, I was talking about a quote, and it says, a home without books is a body without a soul. And I know Ngozi John Uya, I know you have books, Diego Elizabeth, so read. He was a Roman politician and lawyer who served as a consul in the year 63 BC. He's considered one of Rome's greatest orators and prose stylists. And I wanted to know what a consul was. And a consul held the highest elected political office of the Roman Republic. It was the title of one of the chief magistrates of the Roman Republic. So someone that high up. So when we say that readers are leaders and writers rule, it is not today it started. It started since BC, 63 BC. That's when somebody was saying that a home without books is like a body without it. So just imagine your body without a soul. Now, our word for yesterday, because I couldn't read it yesterday, so I want to read our word for yesterday. Our word for yesterday, I also have a word for today. Our word for yesterday is book law, and that one was meant to be apt for yesterday because it was the World Book and Copyright Day. Now, book law is facts and information about books, especially about authors and circumstances of publication. It's just like folklore, we're talking about tradition. So book law is also book learning, and I'll hold it up for you to see. Book law. BOOKLORA. Book law was our word for yesterday, so we're having 2 words today, so a bonus of 2 words for today. So this is book law. Wow, can you see? The sun is in my eyes, so I cannot see. Book law, which he talks about book learning and everything to do with books. Our word for today is very, very interesting. Our word for today is grok. Grok sounds like something that's, what does it sound like? A duck? No, not a duck. Anyway, grok is spelled Grok, and it is a verb. Grok is like, it's from one scientific film called Strangeland. Anyhow, grok means to understand thoroughly and intuitively. It means to know something without having to think intellectually. For instance, if you say a crate of eggs, you just know intuitively that it's either 6 eggs or 12 eggs or 10 times it. You just know it intuitively. So that is grok. Then it also means to fully and completely understand something in all of its details and intricacies. For instance, like driving a car. After your first 2 or 3 lessons, you fully understand it, and then as you're driving, you just know that, okay, if something happens, okay, this must be the problem. I didn't put enough oil, or I didn't put engine oil, or for instance, your generator. So grok means to know. And then to grok something, To grok something is to understand something so well that it is fully absorbed into oneself. And that is for us writers and readers. When you understand something so well, you're writing, you know that, okay, yes, this word is a verb, or it's an adverb, or it's a pronoun, it should not be used. You just know it so well. And in common usage, do you grok? Do you grok seems close in meaning to do you get it? Do you grok? Let me show you the spelling of grok, because it sounds very funny. I can just imagine Diego asking Akinjimo, do you grok? Oh yeah, talking, say, do you grok? So this is the spelling of grok, G-R-O-K. Do you grok? I'm asking, do you get it? That's what I'm asking. Do you grok? I don't know whether I can see. Okay, yes, because the light from the sun is entering my eyes. So do you grok? Grok. Grok means to understand something so intuitively. You understand its intricacies. For instance, like for people who have children, or if you've taken care of children, you know that sometimes the baby just crying, and also some mothers will say, oh, the baby wants to sleep, and they just know intuitively. So the mothers just grok that the baby wants to sleep, and they do whatever they do to make the baby sleep. So once you know something, you understand it so deeply, so profoundly, then you grok something. So do you grok? And my brother Ifo is watching all the way from Asaba, and thank you for joining a live broadcast. Thank you so much for joining our live broadcast. Actually, we're supposed to be coming to the end, but now they are coming to the you've come on. We're talking about words. Contronyms. Contronym is a word which has two opposites. You have one word, but it means the opposite of itself. So, do you grok? Do you get it? Our word for today is grok. G-R-O-K, and grok means to understand something so thoroughly and intuitively that even if they wake up to understand, like I was saying, that for mothers or people who take care of children, they have baby play, after some time the baby starts crying, and then they intuitively know that either the baby is hungry or the baby wants to sleep, or there's the way the baby is behaving. Because they cannot speak, maybe they know that the baby wants to poo or wants to wee and things. So you grok when you know that or you grok that the baby wants to poo or pee or wee or whatever. So in common usage, do you grok seems close in meaning to do you get it? So Elizabeth Joe, do you grok? Do you grok? Ngozi John Uya, do you grok? Diego, do you grok? What we've been talking about ever since. I was talking about some famous phrases which we have all been used wrong. I just want to do a quick recap for those of you who are just coming on. Yesterday was World Book Day and Copyright Day, and the World Book and Copyright Day, also known as International Day of the Book, is a yearly event on April 23rd organized by UNESCO to promote reading, publishing, and copyright. And then they always choose a World Book capital for a one-year period. And in 2014, Port Harcourt was named the World Book Capital City, and is the second African city and the first sub-Saharan city to be so honored. The theme of the 20th edition of the World Book Day is titled Reading, It's My Right. And then we talked about famous phrases we've all been using wrong. Many people say curiosity killed the cat, but actually that's only half of it. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. That's the correct one. So in your next time you're using curiosity killed the cat, remember it has another half, but satisfaction brought it back. Great minds think alike, but fools seldom differ. Great minds think alike, but small minds rarely differ. Joe Jasmiel Ogbe, alias Ashana Pastor Joe Jasmiel Ogbe, is watching from Lagos. Okay, and John Shuaibu, I forgot to mention. I was trying to remember who it was. Thank you so much. Then you also use blood is thicker than water. Blood is thicker than water is just some words have been missing. The complete word, the complete phrase is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Thank you so much, John. Looking for the John Gibbs. Your Gibbs says I'm looking for it. Thank you so much. Anyway, so blood is thicker than water. The saying is incomplete because words throughout the saying are missing. So The correct saying is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. And then, of course, money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil. If you go to your Bible, 1 Timothy 6:10, you see the correct thing in there. The correct expression is, the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money, not money. And then we have jack of all trades, master of none. No. The correct usage is jack of all trades, but oftentimes better than master of none. So it's better to know so many things than at least not know anything at all. And then I gave a quotable quote, which was in honor of the World Book Day, and it says, a home without books is like a body without a soul. A body without a soul is not living. So if your home does not have books, then your home is not a home. So have books, and it's good to read, because readers are leaders and writers rule. And then our word for today is grok. Grok means to understand something thoroughly and intuitively. To grok something is to understand something so well that it's fully absorbed into oneself. So like I was talking about, like when a mother, someone who looks after children, once they see the way baby behaves, they know intuitively the baby is either hungry, the baby wants to sleep, the baby wants to poo, or the baby wants to wee. So mothers grok when their babies want to do certain things. Or like when you want to drive a car, you instinctively, as you're driving, if you're driving a manual car, you instinctively know when to put it into the second gear, the third gear, fourth gear, and for cars that have 5 gears, when to put it in the 5th gear. So that is something you grok. You understand it profoundly, intuitively, just because part of you. Like when you want to cook. If you want to cook okra soup or bono soup or banga or owo, you just intuitively know at what point in time to put what ingredient. That is, you grok. And then in common usage, like when you're talking to your friends, you can say, do you grok? And it seems close in meaning to, do you get it? Do you grok? And grok. So let me hold up the word grok. Grok. G-R-O-K. Grok. That is our word for it. Can you see it? Okay, yes, that is it. Grok. And that is our word for today. And we had talked earlier on about contronyms. Actually, we talked about it some time back, but I just thought we could revisit it today. Contronyms are words that mean two opposite things. And I talked about custom, which is a convention or collection of habits, like the Yoruba people. I don't know, I just keep on using that, but that's one that first comes to my mind. It's a custom for them. Usually when they want to be the men, they prostrate. And then for those of us from Niger Delta, we genuflect when we want to greet our elders. So custom is that a convention of collective habits, and something that's customized, made specially for an individual. Like I keep on using Ebuka's clothes, Ebuka is the host of whatever. Customized to apply a copy, but no matter how hard they can copy, they cannot get it. And then I talked about bound, to leap or to jump. Bound, again, you secure something from moving in bonds. Then there's what trim. You add, like decorating. Trim the Christmas tree, and you trim it with tinsel or whatever you put on it. Then you have trim to take away. No, the other of this again, the trim. So okay, she had a lovely dress, and it was trimmed with lovely laces. So you decorate it, and then when you want to trim, you take away. Go and trim your beard. It's looking too bushy. Or go and trim your hair. So it's either you add or you take away. Then you dust. This is for people who bake. You sprinkle with a powder on a chocolate cake. You dust with ice and sugar, or dust to wipe the dust when the place is dusty. This Hamatan dust everywhere. Like I need to dust the face of my phone because it's dusty. Left, having gone parted from. Oh, he left for America yesterday, or has been left behind. So either you have gone or you are left behind. The move to spring away suddenly. The horse bolted. As immediately he heard the crack of the gun, the horse bolted. He sprang away suddenly. And then bolt is to fasten. Bolt the door. Please bolt the door. Bolt that door securely before you go to bed. Then strike. This one is basically for baseball players. strike you when you hit, you strike a ball, and then strike again is that you miss. In baseball, when a batter misses a pitched ball, buckle, roll together, buckle your seatbelt when you are on the lane, and then buckle when to collapse. His legs buckled underneath him and he collapsed. Then out, as in visible. Stars are out tonight. And then out as invisible. Candles are out, blown out. So all this was talk about are contronyms. And contronym is any word that can be its own antonym. And an antonym is a word opposite in meaning to another. And so I would like to thank everyone who has joined our broadcast today. If you've missed it and you would like to watch it, it will be on Facebook. Failing that, you can go to my YouTube channel, just type my name, Erumena Amata, and you'll see. So I want to thank everyone for joining the live broadcast from Abuja, from Asaba, from Lagos, from Kaduna, and where else again. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for joining our live broadcast. We will see you tomorrow again. Thank you and